when buying tefillin, and you're buying, obviously with that comes new Retzuos, or if you're changing out the Retzuos on your own tefillin, is that unfortunately Retzuos that we have available today are not of the same quality that we had even 20-30 years ago. Retzuos from 20-30 years ago could have lasted a good number of years. Retzuos today, if they last 5-7 years, that's a good run. Why is that? Why the Retzuos today last maybe 5-7 years, where in the past they could have lasted 15-20? So as one of the companies that makes the Retzuos explained to me, he said that it used to be 20-30 years ago, a cow would be born, and it would grow from a calf to a cow, whatever the process is, however many months or years it takes. I'm not an expert in that. And then they would, shech the animal, take the skins, and make the Retzuos out of it. He says today, the animals don't have a natural growth. They inject like hormones and things into the calves. So this is what he explained to me. And the animals grow much faster. And he said that what the result is that the skins which they get to make the Retzuos from are not as thick, they're not as strong, and the leather is just not as good as the leather as it was years past. It's actually funny. I told this to a contractor friend who does a lot of work in the houses, and he says, it's interesting because today also you have the same thing with the trees. You have what's old growth, trees, wood that you take from the forest that grew over 100 years, whatever, and then you have what's in the tree farms. Today a tree in a forest, the trees don't get as much sunlight. This is what he explained to me. The trees don't get as much sunlight, and the trees grow much slower, and therefore if you look at the rings on old growth wood, the rings are much closer together because it's a much slower process. And he said that wood is so much stronger. It's so much stronger, that wood, versus today in the tree farms, they plant the trees much more spread out, so trees grow much faster. And the wood, if you look at the rings in the woods that you could buy today in Home Depot or Lowe's, the rings are much more spread apart, and the wood is not as dense, and it's not as strong as wood from many years ago. So this is what we're living in today, what we call a fast-paced society. We need everything faster and everything quicker, but sometimes we sacrifice a little bit of the durability in the quality of the product. But this is the world that we're living in. So that's the first thing you have to know when you're buying the Retzuos. Don't expect them to last 15-20 years, because even the best quality Retzuo, which I have, and I do have some really good Retzuos, will not last that long. Now, of course, depending on how you wear them, some people wrap them really tight on the arm, really tight on the boxes when you put them away. That will affect how long the straps will last. But even with taking all that into consideration, they just don't last as long as they used to. So again, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe. If you like this video, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on my next video. Another video coming out real soon, and stay tuned.